Welcome to the hard walkthrough for Star Wars Empire at War Forces of Corruption using the Xerox mod. At a pawn shop, I discovered the gold edition of the original RPG plus its expansion pack for Windows PCs. The original edition was on 6 computer CDs, but this combined gold edition had both games on a single DVD. It also includes bonus maps and some screensavers. I stopped using Steam Online Gaming years ago, so I prefer to play my older games that completely install and don't need to have Steam constantly update itself on a daily basis. So I am using the Xerox mod. Note that in order to use a custom mod with Forces of Corruption, you need to create a mod folder in the LucasArts subdirectory in program files as seen here. Then extract your custom expansion into that mod folder. Xerox has helpfully included a test executable shortcut which runs his mod expansion directly rather than you having to worry about any other version setup. Why do I play this expansion? Well, there are a number of worlds on Galactic Conquest in his mod that do not exist in the standard vanilla game. He has also included unique maps for planets that would refer to the Star Wars Expanded Universe novels. This was before Disney Star Wars. Notice the starting difficulty level of 2. This is actually a powerful AI control. Simply playing this game on hard is not the highest difficulty level. The default starting difficulty level of 2 controls how hard the AI fights to wipe you off the galactic map. Oddly enough, starting the initial tech at 3, 4, or 5 does not increase the difficulty. The game actually becomes easier. What I learned over the years was that starting this game at starting tech level of 1 opens up the AI to its fullest capability. Ordinarily, you'd fight a battle where the AI manages a dozen ships to contest you. But if you start the tech level at level 1, look at the forces that they brought to bear on this battle, or on this battle. So this is the true AI for Star Wars Empire at War. And you have to start the game at starting tech level 1 on the hard setting in order to fully exploit this difficulty if you want a true challenge. So there are 3 different factions that you can play on hard. The Zan Consortium is the hardest. I was only able to do the game on tech level 1 using a specific approach, which I'll show you in my 3rd video. The Rebel on hard setting is actually harder than the Empire on the hard setting, simply because the Rebel Alliance has no Super Star Destroyers or Death Stars to shorten the game. So let's start this playthrough with the easiest hard faction, the evil Galactic Empire. Why is it the easiest? Once you build the Death Star and 1 or 2 of the 2 Super Star Destroyer models provided by the Xerox mod, you can just eliminate capital ships with a single shot. It just takes longer to play as rebels. If you want a fast game with a satisfying conclusion, just play Empire. Sometimes the AI will surprise you and provide a real challenge. So starting the game, Galactic Conquest Empire Hard, starting tech level 1. Leave the other settings alone and begin. Your first move is to pause. Pausing a game is a power that your AI opponent does not have. It's your first advantage over the computer. Think of pause as using the Force, whether the dark or light side of the Force, and you can save your game and build things or sell unneeded items. If you manage to pause and save before an enemy fleet approach, it gives you much needed time to move your defensive forces around. Those who grew up playing StarCraft are familiar with the term turtle strategy, where you build up the most elaborate defensive base possible. In that sort of game, this strategy is self-defeating. It's best to have a minimum base defense and a mobile attack force. So it was in StarCraft, and so it is in Empire at War. The AI mode of attack is actually very simple. Let's say you have two important planets within easy access by attack from Rebel Alliance forces. The AI simply looks at which of the two planets has fewer defenses, or even just a space station, and will send a fleet there. You can easily confuse the computer AI by simply moving a single fleet back and forth between the two planets. This may throw off the enemy's attack completely where they don't attack at all, which is often your goal as you are building. So we're at the start of the game, and you've got Senator Palpatine sitting there paused, waiting for this dumb player to get to work on helping him build his empire.
I'm looking forward to completing your training.
The first thing that you're going to build is a research facility. There's a very good reason the computer did not build this for you automatically. They want to see if you are simply stuck reacting to the enemy's AI attacks and constantly losing as they continue upgrading their tech tree. Don't fall for this trap. Build your research facility first, and make sure you always have funds available to upgrade that tech tree the second that a next level of tech becomes available. This will mean sacrificing some ship purchases, or even losing a planet or two to the enemy. Ignore that. Ignore the enemy making inroads into your defensive area. All that matters is that research tree. Get it upgraded faster than your enemy AI for victory. And the same applies when playing as a Rebel Alliance. Steal technology as soon as you can every round. So the first thing you'll want to do is use all of your initial money to build up ground forces and some minor ship types. You can only afford a single fleet at the start of the game, so put everything into sending this fleet around and establishing a base perimeter. This perimeter will be extremely flimsy for the first half of the game, but you can mitigate that with pausing, constant saves, and defensive fleet movements to confuse the enemy. So if you look here at the initial galactic map, which is a galaxy far, far away, you want to establish a perimeter starting over here at Jabim on the western side. Ignore the little planet to the north of that. Your only goal at the very onset is establishing your perimeter. Then move your fleet back down to Korolog. Evade triggering any fights with pirate planets on the way. They will only delay you. Get your fleet over to Kuwat, and then invade Kessel and the Maw. Once you win these locations, if you have managed your timing right, the rebels should just have established a minor space station at Sulakami, just north of Mon Calamari. Conquer Sulakami and you're done. You have a basic perimeter with no rebel forces to attack you from behind. You can then go back and settle the planets within that perimeter at your leisure. This is also your goal when playing the Rebel faction, but the difference in the Rebel version is you have two initial base areas to defend in that scenario. I'll show you how to do that. The Empire is much simpler. Just defend this northeast corner of the galaxy and build your tech tree. Soon you'll be far wealthier than that pitiful band of rebels. So on starting tech level 1, the rebels seem to retain all of the advantages for the first half of the game. They can attack you with massive fleets at any time of their choosing, anywhere of their choosing, and they can put everything they have into a single attack, and you just have to sit there and take it. There is an alternative strategy you can pursue around tech levels 2 or 3, which is just to make a one big fleet, break through the rebel lines, and rampage through their relatively weakly defended rear positions. Just send the fleet continually moving, such as General Sherman's March to the Sea during the American Civil War. This is a highly disruptive movement which harms enemy fleet movements and their resource development, and is something I did on occasion when I did not care how long it took to win a game. It's just individual preference. So here's the key moment in Empire on the hard setting, building the first Super Star Destroyer type. I'll show you what it's like to engage the enemy in battle with it. It's pretty cool. This ship enables you to brush past some truly powerful enemy forces to go on to build the Death Star 2 on Endor. Eventually, you can then build the final Star Destroyer type seen here. Once you start building these monster ships, give them each a fleet to support them, and then the game is pretty much over. The enemy does, on occasion, mass a proper fleet targeting these super Star Destroyers, and seeing them become wrecked over the planet's surface is a spectacular sight, whether you are the winner or the loser. You can always build them again on Empire mode, except the Death Star, which is a one-time build. The only thing that is lacking from Galactic Conquest is that when you win, they don't give you a beautiful closing screen animation showing your forces celebrating. I also wish there was a tabulated breakdown of casualties on both sides. If you actually look at individual ships, they each have names, and you think about the people and the ships who gave their lives. I wish we could see a tribute to them at the end of the game. But then, not every game can be StarCraft. I hope you enjoyed this strategy guide on playing the Empire on Hard, starting Tech Level 1. This is the true challenge for you to explore this exciting game, and it's a shame that no further RPG has ever lived up to its potential. Thank you.